Hello, hello, welcome. I welcome you back. You are here for our Youth Civility Global Leadership Program. We are week 7, and I am so proud of how far each of you have come. Just a moment to celebrate. We had our mid course check-in last session. So whether you're just joining us for the first time, if you're on with us live, or you've been with us since day one, first of all, congratulations yourself. If you've been here for since day one and you have showed up, we salute you. We celebrate you today. For sure, for sure. So I am excited about this being our 7th session. You made it. You made it. You might have started out, but you are here, and I really, pray that you are learning to grow and develop an amazing leader that you are. But again, whether you're here for the first time, I see some first timers here with us, or you're just watching us, you've been here from the beginning, you are a part of something powerful. And more importantly, you are a part of something global. So this is our global experience, our South Africa cohort. We know we have some of our leaders from Kenya, Ghana, and I think last week, Burundi, as well as Bangladesh, have been tuning in. So whoop whoop for that. So let's just take a moment to celebrate what we've come and what we've done so far together, right? We've explored. Week 1 was the foundation of civility. What is civility? What does it mean, right? How do we lead and respect with intention? Week 2 was the power of community. Yeah, community, how we grow stronger and how we can serve together. You guys were to somewhat survey your community and look and see where the leaders were in your community, as well as where did you see some incivility and some things that needed to change. Right. And then hopefully you even talk to some of those leaders or talk to some of those people in your community that were making a difference in standing up for civility. Week 3 was about creativity and action, where we shared some of our big ideas, your bold visions. Some of your assignments were in that. Then we got into, of course, digital civility, right? And being civil on social media, the way we communicate, and sticking with that, and just the civility and the personal development was our emotional intelligence and our global citizenship trainings. Y'all remember those? They were good. They were good. We delve into beginning really talking about journaling, right? And how we communicate, how we hear others, how we respond, right? Self-awareness was a part of that, a big part of that. And so today we're really going to go deeper, right? And I hope that each of these sessions are really building you up. Right. And so, we might think of leadership as degrees, as experience, but I can tell you the biggest thing and the biggest impact to make you a leader is doing the work, the inside work, right? You becoming a better person will automatically create you to be a better leader, right? So it's not just in your schools or your community, but what are you doing internally? And so we are spending a good amount of time on just that. Okay. So now for today, we have something very special for you. We have a transformational session that will inspire you to do what? To fight. Yeah, I know. You might think being a leader is an easy thing. You might think being a change maker is just something you just wake up and do with no problem. But I promise you, it's going to require a fight. And if you understand that, type that in the comments. I know I'm going to have to fight. You're going to have to fight for your dreams, right? And you got to learn to never give up no matter what you face. And so it's my honor to introduce our guest speaker, Miss Robin Shyel Williams. Robin doesn't just talk about overcoming obstacles, she lives it. With more than 20 years of leadership experience and her signature fight system, she has empowered countless individuals to face their fears, build confidence, and walk boldly in purpose. Born fighting for her life and surviving illness, depression, and deep personal trials, Robin is walking out her real testimony. She is a walking testimony that her struggles do not define you, but guess what, y'all? They refine you. She is a proud veteran. She is a certified John Maxwell coach, a woman of fierce faith and unstoppable Resilience. Today, she's here to pour into you, our youth leaders, our youth civility leaders, to remind you that no obstacle can stop the destiny meant for you. So please give a warm welcome. Say hello in the comments, in the chats. You got to know we got to engage. Even though we're virtual, we want to make sure that we are engaging and communicating, right? So please give a warm welcome. Say hello. And if you don't have your camera on, just type your name, right? And maybe what country you're listening in from so she can know. But let's give her a warm global welcome to Miss Robin Shyel Williams. Woo!
Thank you, Dr. Anana. Hey everybody, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are logging in from. So, thank you for the warm welcome, sis. Thank you for that introduction. Resilience is a topic that is very near and dear to me because one thing that I absolutely know is that life is going to challenge us at times, and the concept of resilience, it really determines the outcome of how we face those challenges and the outcome of our mindset and how we're quickly able to recover, and just even our whole perspective on that. So I'm going to get into it. I have a presentation. It's two parts. So today we're going to kind of talk about resilience, why it's important, why we should embrace it. And then in the next session, we're really going to get into what you can do to build resilience. So give me a minute. I'm going to bring up my presentation to share. Try this again. Let's see. Okay, and let me know when you can see my screen. Okay, can you all see my screen?
Yep, looks good.
Looks good. Okay. All right. So as she said, I'm Robin Shyel Williams, and we're going to talk today quite a bit about resilience. So I kind of want to do just a level set and just kind of get an understanding of where you are or what you know about resilience. So today, again, we're going to cover what resilience is, the importance of it, why we should embrace it, and then the impact of resilience in our life. So real quick, just put your answers in the chat. What is resilience? You can answer with A, B, C, or D. What is resilience? Is it hiding your emotions so that no one sees your pain? Is it bouncing back after something hard? Is it being perfect all the time? Is it avoiding difficult situations? So drop your answer in the chat. What do you think resilience is, or what do you know resilience to be? A, hiding your emotions so no one sees your pain. Is it B, bouncing back after something hard? Is it C, being perfect all the time? Or D, avoiding difficult situations? And just drop an A, B, C, or D in the chat. Okay, I see a B. Bouncing back after something hard. Any other? B and DC? Yes, exactly. That is the correct answer. Resilience is bouncing back after something hard. Okay, so the second question, which of the following is an example of someone being resilient? Is it A, giving up after failing once? Is it blaming others for your problems? C, trying again after a setback? Or D, ignoring how you feel? I see some C's coming up in the chat. That is okay. So you all already have a good concept of what resilience is. It's actually trying again after a setback. And so the last question that we have is number three. What helps build resilience? Is it A, waiting for life to be easy? B, learning from your struggles? C, always doing things by yourself? Or D, pretending everything is okay. Yes, it is. It is learning from your struggles. So you all answered all of the questions. I saw all answered correct answers coming through. So let's talk a little bit about what resilience is not. It's not pretending you're fine when you're falling apart. Real resilience doesn't require you to fake it. I know we've heard people say fake it till you make it. True resilience doesn't require us to fake it. We actually face our challenges, our problems head on. And resilience is not the absence of any struggles or challenges. So it doesn't mean that you're never going to have a problem in life. It doesn't mean that you're not going to try something and fail. It doesn't mean that you're going to fall. What it simply means is that you refuse to stay down. And resilience is not I'm throwing on my super cape and I'm going to carry this all by myself. I'm super independent. I can do it all by myself. That's not at all what it means. You were never meant to carry anything, to carry everything. Resilience actually is really a concept built on faith. It's knowing, it's tapping into your faith, leaning on support. I think that God created us to be community minded, and to reach out for support and be in support of others, and then to walk in truth. So let's resilience. So here are some things that can get in the way of you being resilient or you building resilience. So fear. Things can happen, and sometimes some of the situations may cause us to feel fear. But we know that the word says that God didn't give us the spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and a sound mind. So when we are trapped by our fear, what we know is fear paralyzes us. It hinders our progress. It weakens. It prevents us from moving forward. It may cause us to stay stagnant. So we don't want to give in to fear. Isolation, so separating ourselves from our family and friends, from our support system, it actually weakens our resolve. So we were never meant, again, to carry things and to be all by ourselves all the time. Now, there is times when God may isolate us, but his isolation is really for us to lean more into him. So he may separate us from people momentarily so that we can hear his voice, and his voice is the strongest voice that we're listening to, but we're never supposed to just feel like we're one person on an island. Another thing that can get in the way of us being resilient or building resilience is comparison, right? You've heard comparison is the thief of joy. It actually steals our joy, robs us of our joy and our purpose, because we're focused on what other people are going or other people are doing, or where they may be at a specific time in life, and we take our eyes off our own journey. You know the story of when Peter told Peter to come out and walk on the water, and as long as Peter kept his eye on Jesus, his purpose, where he was supposed to be going, then he stayed above water. The minute he took his eyes off of Jesus, he started to sink, right? So that is for us a reminder of us, kind of, we're not supposed to compare our journeys. We're not supposed to compare where we are against someone else, because we all have an individual path and road that we have to travel. So we don't want to lose our joy or be ungrateful and not thankful for where we are or the accomplishments that we've made, simply because we feel like somebody else is ahead and we don't know what their assignment is, right? So we don't want to compare ourselves or get caught up in that comparison. And then another thing is perfectionism. Listen, anyone who has had any amount of success, if you do any research, one of the things that they'll tell you is, one, they've always failed, they've had to fail, and they continue to try and try again. And then that they don't pursue perfectionism, they work on progress, right? So perfectionism creates impossible standards, and it actually dwindles away at our self-confidence. So these are four things that can get in the way of us building resilience and being resilient. What resilience actually is, it's a God-given strength that rises when our own strength runs out. So it's not even something that that we have to have, on our own, or it's not us doing it independent of God. It is something that God has put deep down inside of us, that little still small voice that will tell you that you can continue to go on, that you can make it. Resilience is a mindset. It's a mindset that tells you that setbacks are just, they're just a setup for your next season. It's helping you to know and understand that you can learn and grow through every challenge that you face in life. And then resilience is actually trusting God's plan, even when the path is painful, believing that He's still working it out for our good. Romans 8:28. That's my favorite scripture. Whenever I encounter something in life, I remind myself, he said, all things are working together for the good of them who love him, for those that are called according to his purpose. And I know that that's me that he's speaking of in that verse. And so and that word, all, it's a small word, but it's a mighty word. So it means whatever he brings me through to, then he's going to equip me to get through it. As long as I continue to trust him and I recognize I don't have to see the whole plan. I don't even have to understand what's happening. I know that because I belong to God, I can keep my trust in him and he's going to make it work out for my good. So why is it important for us to embrace resilience? It's important because life is going to have storms. There are things that are going to happen that we absolutely have no control over. Resilience is that thing that keeps us from drowning when we go into the difficult places in life. Resilience is important to embrace because it's also character building, right? It builds our faith. I see a question in the chat. Is resilience similar to faith? Resilience is a component of faith, I believe. So and the reason why I say that is because faith requires us to move when we don't have all of the answers. It requires us to take action when we don't really know the full plan. It requires us kind of to fully rely on God. The reason why I say that resilience is a component of faith is because resilience is that thing that will help you get back up and to take another step when everything in front of you says you have every reason to quit, you have every reason not to try. That voice inside of you that's saying, keep going. That's the resilience. And when you take that step, then you're actually walking out faith. So faith is kind of defined. Well, the Bible defines faith as faith is the substance of things, hope for, the evidence of things not seen. So faith is really kind of the belief that we don't see, where we can't see what it is, but we know that this is what God said. So I know that I'm going to continue to go on. But resilience is that thing that tells you I can get back up. I can go through this because of my faith. Does that make sense? Okay. And then Ayana hit on it in the chat asking about faith. So it kind of, it sharpens our focus. It protects our peace. It lets us know that no matter what we're facing, as long as we have, our faith in God, we can get back up and we can keep going. So why is resilience important? It's important because it supports our mental health and wellness. It's needed for personal growth and development. It's an integral part of achieving personal success, and it has a positive impact on leadership. So we're over the next couple of slides, we're going to go into why. So how does resilience support mental health and wellness? So it helps by supporting emotional regulation, right? When things happen, our emotions can tend to get the best of us. We're going to feel strongly about something, but resilience helps us feel our feelings, but maintain our self-control. It teaches us to pause and think like how we want to respond versus just reacting. And it also helps us to speak truth to our feelings. It helps us build healthy coping skills. like positive self-talk, encouraging ourselves to keep going, reminding ourselves of, you know what, I faced something difficult in the past, but I believe I can do this. It may not be easy, but I know I can do this. It helps us to help to set healthy boundaries, like us saying no when something doesn't align with our focus or our values. And then it also helps us to lean into our faith. And we talked about that previously, you know, to know that we don't have to handle everything on our own. We were never designed to carry it all on our own. The Bible tells us to cast all our cares on him because he cares for us, right? And then stress reduction. So through our faith practices, resilience helps us to talk to God. It reminds us to go back to God, to ask him for guidance, to seek him, right? It draws us back to his word because that's how he speaks back to us. And then it strengthens our faith because it reminds us that there are things that God has tasked us to do. So we want to focus on those things that are within our sphere of control, the actions that he wants us to take, the things that we can do with our hands. And then we're going to rely and trust on God to handle all of the rest. Any questions about how resilience supports our mental health and wellness? Okay. Okay, so in supporting our personal growth and development, you all talked about emotional intelligence. So that self-awareness piece, again, it helps you understand yourself as well as others. It improves how you manages your emotions. It strengthens empathy so that we have compassion and we are sensitive or aware of what others may be facing. It helps us with our decision making. Again, it gives us that ability to pause and slow down and think. It helps us to build confidence in our choices. You can think about your, past successes and build from there. It also encourages value-based decisions. So when you're presented with a situation or a scenario and it doesn't align with who you are at your core and what you believe, then it helps you to make a decision that keeps you in line with what you believe and the type of person that you want to be. And then the growth mindset. It changes our view of failure, right? Failure is an absolute part of the journey to success. It helps us to build the courage to try again, and we're going to be pursuing progress and not perfection. Now, how does resilience contribute to achieving personal success? Success comes with perseverance. You know you're going to be able to move forward even when life gets hard. You get up and you keep trying after you fall or you fail. It builds your confidence. It reminds you of the things that you've already overcome, and it helps you to believe and know and understand your life has tremendous value and your voice matters. It helps support your vision, right? So you can focus on your long-term goals, not your, current setbacks and not your problems. It also reminds you to trust that God has good plans for your life and for your future. So here are some key truths about resilience. We're born with a level of resilience, but it's also a developable skill. It's something that can be strengthened, and we're going to talk about that in the session in 2 weeks, like what you can do to actively build your resilience muscle, which in turn helps to build your faith muscle. It has a mindset foundation. It starts with how you think about you and how you think about, your problems and the things that you encounter. Resilience grows it deepens with community growth through relationships, seeking wise counsel, having people that you trust that you can rely on, and then faith and nourishment. Resilience thrives when it's rooted in God. So again, it's not about, you as an individual doing all of the things or facing the hard problems alone, but it's believing and knowing that you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. So how does resilience impact leadership? Right? We don't want to just survive. We really want to thrive in life. And being a resilient leader, it helps to shape how you lead. It helps set the tone for your generation. When you overcome challenges and other people see your success, when they see that, in my case, I went back to college at the age of 50 and graduated, with my master's, then that instills the belief in other people that they can do it too. So when you stand tall and you overcome challenges and people see that, it's just like if you have younger siblings and they see you do things and you become a model for them, then you become a role model for others. You give them the belief that they too can succeed. It helps you to lead with clarity and calm, right? There's nothing worse than a leader that is chaotic and all over the board. When you walk in clarity and you walk with a sense of calmness and peace, then it helps those that you are leading to know that even though we're facing a difficult scenario, we can operate in clarity. We know what our goal is. We're going to stay focused on our goal. Let's look at the situation that's happening, and then let's make the best decision, with the information that we have to move forward. So you're able to lead from a place of clarity and calm. And then you earn trust through endurance. When others know that you are with them, walking through challenges or hard spaces in life, then they know that they can trust you, with to come to you when they may be having a challenge in their area. So it may be somebody, a subordinate, or somebody who you're leading through something. Well, when they see how you lead and that you've walked through a tough space with them, then they know that they can trust you in the future. It also models humility and growth. You need to know the expectation, the desire should never be to be perfect. You just have to keep growing. You want to grow through every season in life. And then keep showing up. Even when it's hard, you're a faithful leader. And because that's what leaders do. Leaders show up when it's hard. Leaders stand tall in the face of adversity. So here's just a couple things to think about from a leadership perspective. What kind of leader do you want to be when things get hard? Do you want to be the leader that people can come to when they have challenging situations? Or do you want to be a leader where people are so afraid that they go in the other direction, or they keep information from you that could be very important and pertinent to you making a good decision? What kind of leader do you want to be when things get hard? How does trusting God impact the way you lead others? Are you a leader that shows grace? Or are you a leader that makes people continually cower in fear? How does trusting God impact the way you lead others? And then who's watching how I handle pressure or setbacks? What do you do when things get tough? How do you respond? Do you respond in anger? Do you react quickly? Do you think and talk through it? How do you respond? Who's watching when you handle pressure? Who's watching how you handle the pressure or the setback? And then how can my story give someone else strength? So if I share a trial that I went through and that I overcame, or something that was an experience that it wasn't such a positive experience at the time, but I look back and I reflect on it and I've learned something, how can sharing that story help someone else and give them strength? So as you're on your journey as a leader, there are some things that you just want to think about, because resilience is going to help you be a better leader. Okay, so are there any questions so far? I know sometimes it seems like I talk fast. I just want to take a minute to pause and see. Any questions, any comments, anything you guys want to drop in the chat, anything you want any more information on?
Yeah, think I saw the one there. Examples of value-based decisions. What
Yes.
what type of things do you think young leaders, teenagers, young adults, or just in
Mhm.
general, what are some value-based decisions that we have to, we're faced with, like on a daily basis or,
Okay.
throughout? What do you think? What comes to mind are some examples of that?
Um, Bullying, witnessing bullying. Someone may not have all of the material things that others have, or their things may not be in the best condition, and that is sometimes an avenue for people to make fun of someone else and give them a hard time. And so, as a young leader, you have to decide: do you want to go along with the crowd and be mean and cruel when you know that's really not something that you value? You prefer to be a person that operates in compassion.
Yeah.
That would be one example. Drugs could be another example. You're out with a group of friends and they decide to engage in something that you personally have chosen that you don't want to engage in, but because the crowd is doing it, then you have to choose, is this something that you want to um, engage in or not? That would be another value based decision. Integrity comes to mind on the job or in the workplace.
Yeah.
You tried something and you didn't get the desired result. Now you have to make a decision. Do you report out on your actual findings, or do you alter the numbers just a little bit to give it a favorable result because you may be afraid of what someone may say?
Yeah.
Those would all be examples of value-based decisions.
Very good. Now, thank you. As you were talking about it, I was thinking of examples and everyone, I think just think about that. Like what type of value-based decisions have I made? And were they
Mm-hmm.
on the left or the right? Like where did they fall? Because at first I was like really trying to think about how to bring that home relatively. I think it was last week in the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
We had did cash back, so where or
Mm-hmm.
it could be the same thing. Maybe you get change. But it wasn't
Yeah.
though. She actually gave me $20 extra. And I probably needed that 20. So I like to get very good examples of it.
Yeah.
I could have kept that $20, y'all. But I'm
Self
like,
checkout. Self checkout is a big one, as a lot of the stores in our areas are installing the self scanners where you have the ability to scan all your material, and you have six. Do you scan all six, or do you scan five
Yeah,
because you think you can get away with it, or you
yeah.
scan three? You know.
No, that's good. Thank you.
Mhm. Any other questions?
Thank you so much. I wanted to find out, you mentioned something about all things work together for good. There are
Yes.
moments where you feel like life is just not going your way, no matter you pray, you trust God in the whole process. How do you continue to have that courage and strength to continue to trust, even if the journey has been so long that you've been in the wilderness? Everything that you try, it's hardship. Would we say in everything, all things work together for good? Is it how we should take it? Or is it somewhere, somehow, where I have to sit down and reflect whether am I doing a right thing, or maybe the decisions that I'm making? Because I believe that if I make decisions, I'm making them based on what I'm seeing can work out for me. But even if doing that in the process of trusting God, you find that things are just falling apart. No, not even, like you feel like I've been in a tunnel for so long and it's
Mhm.
like I'm not even seeing that light. I don't know whether I should look back or I should continue to face forward, even though I'm tired, I'm weary, but I have to keep on going. But I don't see that light. How do you encourage somebody, or what can you say in that journey?
So, um, that's a very good question, and it happens more often than not, right? where we find ourselves, because we have our timing in our head of how long we think it should take for situations to resolve themselves or for things to change. So I can tell you, there's a couple things that I do. One, I talk, I in my prayer, I talk openly to God. I talk to God the way that I would talk to Dr. Anana as my friend. And I will say, God, you said, and then I would remind him of what his word says. And I will say to him, God, you said all things work together, for the good of them. Like, and this is me. God, you said that you would never leave me, nor forsake me. And I know that this is a trick of the enemy to make me believe, to make me feel that you're not with me, or that I'm all alone, or that you've forgotten about me. But I trust your word over my feelings. I trust your word over what I see. And God, and I ask the Holy Spirit for guidance. Um, is there a different direction that I should be going? You know, I thought I was doing the right thing, but my right thing may not have been the actions that you wanted me to take. So from a position of faith, like, these are the conversations that I have. I won't say would. These are the conversations like that I have, with God when I'm facing something and I'm like, where are you? You know. The other thing is start a journal, or go and look back over things that you've overcome, right? So you have a record. All of us at this point should have a record of things, if we sat down and we thought about them, where we've had hard situations in the past. And then, because we're still here, I can tell you that God has brought us through those things, right? And it's easy to forget, but if we have a written reminder or if we just start reflecting on things that we've overcame in the past, how has God showed up for us in the past? And then you want to focus on that. God, I trust that you're going to help me with this. I trust that you're going to bring me through, because I've seen your work in my life. I've seen what you've done for me in the past. And I'm moving in faith. So because I can't see it right now, I still trust you. And in being in full transparency, living with a diagnosis of major clinical depression, I cannot trust my feelings all the time. And I tell God, I trust you more than I trust my feelings. I trust you over what I see. I trust you over what the scenario looks like. And even when I can't see it and I can't feel it, I still trust you. And then I just have to, I have to wait on him and wait on the Holy Spirit to lead, to say, and I ask him to, open my eyes and my ears to make me sensitive to your voice. If I missed you, then show me the direction you would have me to go. Does that help?
Yes, it does help. It does help in a way that you realize to say that you trust God over what you're feeling, even if you feel the pain, even
Yes.
if you see that it's been dark, but you have to choose. I think it's a point of whereby one decides to choose to believe God in His word more than how you
Yeah.
feel, more than the pain, more
Yeah.
than what your eyes are showing you to see. So yes, it does help, and thank you so much.
And I've even asked God, when I felt uh overwhelmed, I've asked him for your peace. Your word says you will give me peace which surpasses all understanding. I want to give you this hurt. I want to give you this angst, this overwhelm. God, I'm giving you this. In exchange for this, God, give me your peace, which surpasses all understanding. And I've never prayed that prayer and he's not shown up.
Thank you so much. I believe that even if maybe one would say, how does this maybe add up to us maybe being empowered to leadership? But it takes us back to say that even though it's an academy thing, but we need God in everything that we do.
In everything.
And yes, one would ask to say that how does it add up to my studies or the program as a whole? But I want to thank you as well for this opportunity to say that you pointing us to the Creator, because I believe that it doesn't matter what religion each one of us maybe, but God is one, and in this journey, um, it's just what can I say? It takes us back to say that yes, we might have we might have started with our own understanding, but now it's the program says that even though whatever the information that you've gotten from day number one, but learn to walk with God in everything that you do. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you for that. Any other comments? Questions? Okay. So as a review, resilience again is a God-given strength that rises when your own strength runs out. It's a mindset that embraces setbacks as setups for our next season. And it's trusting God's plan, even when the path is painful, believing and knowing that He's still working it all out for our good. We should embrace it because we cannot avoid the storms and the challenges that we're going to face in life. Life will have some storms. There will be some things that happen that we don't plan that will challenge us. We know that that's one thing we can be sure of, is that something is going to challenge us and it's not going to feel so great. Um, and so we want to focus or embrace the resilience in us, so that knowing that we have the ability, we're capable of weathering the storms of life. It helps us to trust God in the face of those challenges, and it's part of our faith protection. It's important because it supports our mental health and wellness. It helps us to grow and develop personally. It helps us to achieve personal success, and it has a positive impact on the way that we lead or how we show up in leadership. And so then one of the things that we want to do is walk away with is a personal definition of resilience. So I'm going to leave this up on the screen, and this is kind of for everyone to fill in for themselves. To me, resilience means, what does it mean to you? Because I believe that even when whatever that is, God gives me the strength to. So for me, resilience means standing up or fighting in the face of challenges, because I believe that even when life gets hard or depression tries to tell me that I can't, God gives me the strength to not only endure, but to overcome and thrive. Anyone want to share theirs or share it in the chat? Or Ayana, what I want. I know you might be doing something. Dr. Renato.
I got you. I was gonna say I
Okay,
could do it. You know I got you.
sure.
Um, to me, resilience means um I want to use the word faith, because as soon as you said it, I've been learning about faith and who God is and what He really came to this world to do. And so I feel like faith is what resonates with me the most when it comes to resilience. And it's because I believe that even when I don't feel it or I see it, God gives me the strength to believe that my time will come, and it's all dependent on him. Because there's a scripture, I believe it's Ephesians 10. I'm not sure what the actual like words say, but it says something along the lines of, I've already made the plan, you just have to walk through it. And so I feel like that's what God gives me the strength to believe, because he already told me that he already gave me and wrote my story. I just have to walk through the story.
Outstanding. Thank you. Anyone else? Anana? Dr. Anana?
I was hoping we could have another student.
Okay. Felicia,
Yeah,
anyone else?
let's see.
I
I
can't
won't have
see
to
you by
call
your,
nobody out, but
yeah. Okay.
let's see.
Well, we can send this
Nancy,
out to the,
Noma, anyone want to share? I know it takes some time to really think about it. Just
mhm.
put your own words or experience in, but it would be cool. Let me see. Who else is still here?
I'm still here.
Okay, you
I
want to
think
give it a
for
try?
me, yes, I think for me, it is not to give up, even if when life feels or when even if when life feels overwhelming. So I need just to find the inner strength within me to help me to face any challenges, and also to learn from pain and keep moving forward no matter what. And it takes me back to say, trusting God that I can rise again no matter how many times I fall. It's about staying true to myself, finding hope in darkness, and becoming stronger through every struggle. So yes, that's what I can say.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for
Thank you,
sharing.
thank you, thank you.
So,
Um, hi,
oh,
hi everyone.
Hey, Nazi.
hi.
I would like to try the personal definition of resilience.
All
Sure.
right.
Yeah. So to me, resilience means to apply consistency and stand firm in my values and what I perceive, what I believe in. Um, because I believe that when I stand consistent in my views, in my values, and what I'm brought up with, and I stay consistent in applying that in each and everything I do, that allows me to actually incline myself with the values and goals that I want to achieve in the future. I know that when I apply whatever I've learned, that when I apply my values into everything I do, no matter how small that thing may be, but those small habits, those small gestures that I do lead me to the ultimate goal that I want in my life. And that is what I build each and every value and each and every perception I have on everything based on that goals. And God gives me the strength to endure this difficult journey that we call as life, to endure all these difficult tests that He puts in front of us that we should overcome, that He puts there because He understands that through the certain values that He has anointed us with, He has put to us with, we can tackle that task that He has given us and we can overcome that. And that cannot be a task that pulls you down, but it can be a task that makes you to understand your internal power, your internal value, your internal strength that you have to overcome those difficult decisions and come out victorious. So that is what resilience means, to stay consistent in everything you do and apply your knowledge and your values no matter what the situation may be. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing. Awesome. Anyone else?
So, and I'll share this in our group, right?
Yes.
For them. So you'll have it to really write out. I think it was just powerful saying it, right? Just verbalizing this and walking through it, right? You putting it out there, right? You're speaking this thing, we're bringing life to it. And we will continue to go and grow in that. So I'll definitely will share this with you all so
Yeah.
you can write it out. Thank you.
And so just a closing thought, resilience is already in you, right? It's your birthright. Just the simple fact that you have life, that you made it, took resilience. So it was in there from the beginning. God has already placed it in you. It's your birthright and it's your spiritual weapon. You're not just surviving, you're becoming who God called you to be. And so in the next session, we're going to really focus in on ways to build your resilience. And so in between now and then, Dr. Nana, I'm going to send her these journaling prompts. And so there's 14 prompts. And so it kind of gives you an opportunity to choose. I think there's a little bit shy of 14 days between now and the next time that we meet. But I would like you to just pick one journal prompt, each day. You can go write down the list. But just want to make sure that you take an opportunity and kind of do some thinking about, like, again, writing it out. What does it mean to you, resilience, in your own words? What's the hardest thing you've gone through? What did you learn from it? When was the last time you got through something difficult? What do you usually do when you feel stressed? What parts of my life feel too heavy or hard right now? How do I see God helping me in this hard season? What truth do I need to remember today? What negative thoughts do I need to let go of? Who are people that I can trust and talk to for support? What are some signs that I might be tired or burned out? How can I be kind to myself this week? What Bible verse makes me feel strong when I feel weak? What is one small step I can take today to move forward? And how can I exercise my faith today? And so we're going to send out the journaling prompts to you as well. And Dr. Anana, that's all I had. You're on mute.
Okay. Thank you. So I want to make sure we understand this. So the journaling prompts, like if you want to just take a little time and just explain it. So we all know that we really should be journaling, writing
Yes.
down, right? You guys, we
Yep.
talked about journaling, getting something, or even just using technology. If you text it, use your notes, use something, your phone, your tablet, whatever the case is, if you just do it digitally. But we know the power in journaling and writing things down, right?
Right.
And even in that, it just came to my mind. I remember when I think you were sharing about journaling earlier, that is so important, and it just brings it back to me when we can celebrate the things that we have overcome, when we
Mm-hmm.
can celebrate the places that God has brought us from,
Yep.
like when I didn't think I was going to have enough money, right, to even just get my uniform, or I didn't think I was going to have enough money, to buy food or to get a car, put gas in the car, to get my bus fare, whatever it could have been. Somehow it worked out.
Mm-hmm.
And how a lot of times the current status makes us forget, like how it did work out in our favor, how God did show up, right? And things happen. So when you journal and you write those things down, it keeps a record of it. Right.
Yes.
And so it's just
Yes.
like, oh, wait a minute, he did it before. He did it last week, last year, 5 years ago, when I was 5 years old. Like just certain things, it just helps you, right? Just to keep that. So I think that is
Right.
important. And now you're giving us these prompts, like, so technically we should do one every day. Like I want you to just give
Yes.
the assignment.
Yep.
Okay. Make sure everybody.
Okay,
So
so
just
so
go ahead.
these prompts kind of reinforce the concepts and things that we talked about and how it helps us, how resilience helps us, and some of the things that we can turn to, right? So each prompt is just kind of a thought starter on resilience and how you've been resilient in your life, or where you may need God to show up in your life, or where you may need to focus on, where you've had past successes. So each of the questions kind of just take you through something that's going to help you either reflect on your current behavior. So then you can say, okay, well, right now when I'm stressed, I do A, B, and C. But now that I know I have this resilience inside of me, or I want to build resilience, how about if I start implementing these things when I'm stressed? So it's kind of reflective of where we are now, and then it's going to help us to either dwell on, reflect and look back on past successes, or to identify some things, some areas that we want to address and build our resilience muscle in. And so then we're going to kind of review and talk through some of those in the next session as we work on building our resilience.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So number one should be today.
Yes.
You're here. You haven't already. We've given the prompt. So I want you to do number one tonight, right? Just y'all know me. Just get into action. You're right here. You just heard it. It's fresh. We encourage everybody to answer the first one tonight. Write that down, text it, do whatever, and try to do it every day. And if you can't, then catch up. But I'll make sure that I'll send this out to you all in our WhatsApp group so you can prepare and work through this until when we meet back in 2 weeks, right? All right, good stuff. Just want to make sure everybody got that. Any questions? Let's see. Any questions? Any questions? Okay. Good stuff.
Right.
Good stuff. Go ahead.
I'll just turn it back over to you.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Wow. What a transformational session. I don't know about you. I got some good notes here. I want everyone, if you are here and you present, it'll be a way of attendance. If you haven't left a comment, put in a takeaway in the comments so we can know that you're here and where you're watching or tuning in from today. So you can get credit for the class. Those of you that have signed up, you know, that is a full celebration graduation at the end. But I learned so much. I never really thought about resilience as being a stress reduction, a reducer. It can reduce stress. I certainly enjoy that. And just to look at that perspective of it. Yeah, fear, isolation, comparison. I think that was really good for me. So this is session one. And I just want to take a moment and thank you. And I want you guys to even just say thank you, share to our amazing guest speaker, Ms. Robin Shyel Williams, for sharing her story, her strength, and her powerful, how can I say, resilience workshop and training with us today. And just, you know, Robin really reminded us how we are more than our fears. Reality is we all experience fear. We all experience a level of stress, right? At times we just want to give up. And no matter what life throws at us, we each have the power. I love that. Like resilience is our superpower, right? You got
Absolutely.
faith, but resilience is that power, right? And we all have that. Each of us have the power to rise, to fight, and to walk boldly in our purpose. Right. And I feel like a lot of things that are thrown at us, you know, where you come from, your parents, you know, the lack of, you know, poverty, the mindset, all of these things that we might be struggling with, right? We can all still walk forward, right? Boldly in our purpose. So here's what I wanted just to remind you and leave you all with this session. Faith is your foundation. I love it. Resilience is your superpower. And purpose is your path. And with civility, we all can show up for ourselves and for others, right? Again, this is a leadership. You're like, who thinks like, why are we really spending so much time on your well-being, on your mental health, right? Because we understand, you know, sometimes we think about leadership is how much I can do, what kind of, you know, degrees I could get, what type of certificates, all of those things, right? But this is very unique in that we understand that we gotta, show up for yourself in order for you to lead and show up for others. And I think you talked about that really, really well. There was something else that you really talked about leadership and resilience, but I don't know. I'll go back over my notes. But you're not here by accident. You were chosen to be a leader. You are the light. You are here. You civility leaders that are here with us today. You are the change agent. You're the change agent in your home. A lot of you, you know, in your family, you will be the change agent. You will be the chain breaker, right? You are the change agent in your schools, right? In your community and the world beyond. And so I'm just excited about your next. And I'm grateful for having amazing colleagues and friends that could come along this journey with me and present and help to empower and educate you all. Okay. So again, number one, that prompt is there. I want you guys to do that tonight if you haven't already. And if you did, if you are even so more courageous to put it in our chat and let us know what your personal statement is. We want to see it. I would love to share that with Miss Robin so she could even see that, yeah, she really hit it home and you guys got it. So we're going to add that in there. But if you got it for today and one of the first people that could drop that in the chat and share that with us will be amazing. I think that feedback is really important. So spend a few moments this evening reflecting on what resilience means to you, right? And write down your definition of it. Please do that today. And we'll be checking in on you on your growth before our next session. But again, thank you all for showing up. Thank you for being a part of this global movement of youth civility. And thank you once again to our powerful guest, Miss Robin Shyel Williams. And until next time, y'all know, lead with love, love with purpose, and never forget the power that is already inside of you. And that is your resilience. So thank you guys. Any other questions, any other comments you want to put in there? I see a hand raised or clapping. Okay. you see it, everything, Miss Robin. But share that with us again and take away any takeaways, nuggets. Please put that in the comments, put that in our group message, and I'll make sure that she gets that. But we'll see you. So, y'all, part 2, we building. Make sure you be here on time, ready to go, ready to roll for our next session. And we'll see you there. All right. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Miss Robin.
Thank you. Thank you all.